Hey guys, wanted to do a video about a topic that's near and dear to my heart. It is one of the reasons why I know that living simply is for me. It kind of opened my eyes to it. And it is the topic of becoming debt free. I know that's pretty ambiguous these days for whatever reason. It seems like people just can't quite grasp the concept of not having debt and actually, saving their money and being a complete homeowner where you don't have a mortgage and you have a significant savings account and you can live on your own terms. I know it's a bit crazy thinking, but I'm all about it. So I just wanted to go into a little bit of history on how my family got on that path, that journey. And hopefully it'll inspire you to look into it, or if you're on this journey right now with us, continue it. If you've been here, I want to hear your story. You can let me know how you did it. So here we go. And I just want to show you the book and the man that did it. My boy Dave Ramsey, The Total Money Makeover. Let me tell you about this guy. If you've ever seen his show, it's back on now. I think it's mostly on YouTube that I've seen it, but he had a talk show, I think like on MSNBC or something like that back in the day, or his radio show that he does every day. He is phenomenal. He is he's going to tell you exactly what it is. He's not going to spare your feelings, because it's like that thing of tough love where he's going to tell you like it is because you need to hear it, and he's going to give you the practical steps to take care of your business because he wants you to live like no one else. And that's one of his things, where in the beginning, you're living like no one else because you're saving your money. You're not going out to eat. You're not shopping. You're not going on vacation. He calls it gazelle intensity, where you are focused and ready and moving swiftly towards this debt-free lifestyle, and he wants it for you. And if you are familiar with it, or you know anybody that's been on that, it's a little weird. People aren't used to that. So getting back to what I said I was going to be talking about, the history of how we got here. So about 2 years ago, I started questioning, what kind of life do we want to live? Where do we want to be? What do we want to be doing? Who do we want to be doing it with? And, it kind of got down to money. And I believe money is a tool to help you succeed. It's not the end all be all. So I kind of wanted to know how to manage it, not so much how to get it, because I believe money, if you believe money comes to you, it will. So I'm kind of already there, but I wasn't sure how to manage the money, what the best way to do it is. And so I started asking my friends and family, and it kind of ended me up talking to who I consider one of my mentors now, my friend at work who introduced me to Dave Ramsey. And I had heard of him before, but I really didn't know a lot. I hadn't seen the shows or anything like that, but she introduced me to the book that I showed you, The Total Money Makeover. And it took about 2.5 days to read it, and I was just blown away. It's so cheesy, but my life changed. That book gave me the exact tools, the steps, which I'm going to tell you about in a minute, to get control of my family's finances and to set us on this great journey we've been on. And so the first step that we took was, they're called the baby steps. There's 7 of them. The first one is to save $1,000 in an emergency fund. So it kind of gets you going. It sets you up. It makes you feel good that you have this money in the bank. I know that was not one of the goals for me. I kind of didn't understand savings. And if you can believe it, I really was like, for what? And that's because money just comes, and I never really had to think about it. But when you have a family, you need that security. You need to know that if something goes on, especially not just a family, but you have a house, you have cars, you have things that you need to take care of, and stuff happens. So you need that money in the bank. So he's just doing $1,000 because it'll, pretty much carry you over. It won't pull from the next step, which I'll tell you about in a second. But you have that money there in case you need it. It's not for quick shopping trips. It's not like, oh, I need to, buy this and this and this. No, it's for a real emergency, like your car breaks down, you need to replace it, or, whatever, real emergency. So that's the first step. The second step is to do the debt snowball, and it's to pay off all your debts except for your house. And that's where we are now. We've been there for 2 years. We've done other things in between there that has prevented us. Well, we've had to. We have a house that requires a lot of updates. So we've had to do that, but we've been on that path. We've been paying off our debts as much as we can, and we are set to be debt free early 2015. So I'm trying to cut that way down, but as of right now, that's where we are. So the goal of the debt snowball is to pay your smallest debt first. Once you take that debt and you pay that off, you take the money that you were paying towards that debt and apply it to the next smallest debt, and so on. And then once you get to your last debt, you'll have such a big amount that you're putting towards it that it'll be paid off like really, really quickly, regardless of what it is. And that's kind of where we are now. It's something that is not fun. It is not pretty to see all your money that you work hard for going to pay off this debt. But you know what? It's a finite period of time, and the time will pass anyway. And I'd rather spend the next, 18 months or so paying this off and, sacrificing maybe vacations and other home improvements to really finally, once for all, be debt free. So that's where we are with that. After that is the third step, where you finish funding your emergency fund. And so what he suggests is to have 6 to 8 months of savings, to cover any expenses. So if you, God forbid, you get laid off, or, you get hurt and you can't work or whatever, you have that money that should be able to sustain your family and your lifestyle for 6 to 8 months. We're going to do probably 12 months just for security purposes. And how you fund that is you just take the money that you've been spending on debt, you apply that. Any extra money, you apply that. And once you get that done, then you can move on to the fourth step, which is to save 15% for retirement. So it's 15% of your income, and you should be able to easily be able to do that because you had all this money that you're paying towards debt. Just take 15% of that, then the rest you can do what you want with. Now, if you have children, though, you might want to save for college, or, if not, or, I don't know if we're going to save for college, but you could. That's when you kind of can do the home improvements, and you can do a lot of things. But it's up to you how you spend your money, because you've taken care of business. You have your savings in place. You have your retirement in place. You're getting it in place, I should say. And then you have your debt paid off. So then that's the fifth and sixth step. I'm sorry, the fourth and fifth step. And then the sixth step is to pay your mortgage. Now, we're lucky where we paid off our house. We got a really good deal, and we don't have a mortgage, so we will skip that step. But a lot of people aren't in that situation. But the beauty of it is that you have everything in place, that you can take, that money that you have been paying towards debt. You already have your retirement in place. You already have the kids' college fund, in place, where you save a certain amount per month or whatever you want to do. Then anything extra you put towards your mortgage. And believe me, if you can chart it out, like I have mine on an Excel spreadsheet, if you can do some type of forecasting, it gets you so excited to see, okay, yeah, maybe 10 years, but dude, it could be 20, it could be 30. I mean, you got to think of the money and the time that you're going to save by paying it off. And it's about commitment. I understand that, but you're gonna pay either way you go. So you might as well try to get it down. And a lot of people can pay it off way, way sooner. I know than you think. There are so many calculators out there that you can see what the difference would be. And even if you talk to your mortgage company, they can do some type of forecast. It's probably on their website where you can do some type of forecast and say, okay, if I pay extra $1,000 a month, because you'll probably have that after you finish, paying off your debt, how much sooner can I pay off this mortgage? I mean, that's awesome, dude. Come on. So that's the sixth step. The seventh step is where you live like no one else, because you've lived like no one else. You've sacrificed, you've been focused, you've been determined, you've been motivated to get all your financial house in place. So then you can give like no one else. You can give to that charity. You can be, that secret Santa to a family and really, really bless them during a hard time. You can take the trips around the world. That's when you can buy a house and you can, do whatever you want to do because you put in the work. And just thinking about that end result of being able to determine what my family does because we've taken care of business, it's just awesome. And I just wish the same for everybody. I've expressed that to my mother and my father, and they're on the plan. Some friends of mine are on the plan. And I mean, it's just awesome. And even if you're single, I was going to say if you're married, it just brings you, it may cause some issues in the beginning before everybody's kind of understanding. But once you see what you can do with it, it's just amazing. It helps you dream together. It takes you, mentally places that you probably wouldn't even thought of. If you're single, you can forecast, you can go and live in that villa in Tuscany or whatever you want to do and not have to worry about it. I mean, that's the whole goal. Money should not be worried about. If you're because what he says is your income is your biggest asset. That is, regardless of any extra money that comes in, most likely you have a job with a consistent amount of money coming in. You only make more every year if you do what you need to do. And why not? Why not dream big, sacrifice for a little bit, and then get it done? I mean, that's what I'm talking about. So that's kind of like where we are. We're on stage 2 or step 2, and we're going, and we're happy to be there. So I'm going to put the link to the baby steps in the description box so you can go check it out. And I just want to know if you guys are on this plan or another plan, or if you've been there, done that, and now you're living your life. Let me know what's going on. I wish you guys peace and blessings, and I'll see you later.